Hi. Good night. Good night.
Good
Good
night, guys. Good
night.
night.
Good night. As you are coming in, please go ahead and say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, guys.
Hi,
Welcome.
everybody. We are excited to be here.
Hello, Isabel.
Hello. Hi, 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 Isabel.
Good to have you. Good to have you with us tonight.
Yes, good
Good
to
to have
see
you.
you. Good to see you, Isabel. Good to see you. Thirty more seconds, guys, and we will begin. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. As you're coming in, please share. Go ahead and share. If you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you're catching the replay, please indicate that in the comments. Leave a comment to let us know if you are here live or if you caught the replay.
Yes.
So welcome everybody back to our channel when two become
One.
one. I am Shanice Layla Bogle, trauma and relationship coach or trauma and relationship coach or trauma healing and recovery specialist.
Sweet, sweet,
It's
sweet.
it's it's so many twists and turns, but
Definitely,
I'm
definitely.
all about trauma healing, and this is my husband.
Anthony Bogle. I'm a speaker and an entrepreneur.
You're not forgetting what you do and who you are.
Simple, easy,
Simple. All
easy,
right.
easy,
So we're
easy.
gonna. By the way, we're just so excited about this topic
Yes.
because it is one of those spicy time in someone's life when they don't necessarily want to hear about any questioning. They just want to go right into the loving. And so don't bombard me with types of questions. I'm not in school. I just want to go straight into the loving. But if you want the loving, if you want the life after the loving, then you're going to have to ask the questions. Hi Tam,
Hey, Tam.
Richards, hello.
Good
Welcome,
job.
welcome, welcome.
Good job.
Welcome to our new subscribers. Thank you so
Yes, yes,
much.
yes, yes,
Another round of
yes,
applause.
yes.
Thank you. We're so excited to have you. And tonight we're talking about asking the right questions, asking your partner the right questions. Are you asking the questions you need to ask even now?
Now.
Thank you for liking the live.
Thank
Please
you.
go ahead and do that so the algorithm can push it out to let people know this is something worth watching.
Mm.
So are you asking your not spouse as yet, but are you asking your partner right now? You're in a relationship. Are you asking the right question? You're asking the man the right questions? Are you asking that woman the right questions? Are you afraid to ask the questions? Are you hesitant? Because sometimes some partners' demeanor can make us feel a little bit intimidated to
Mm-hmm.
ask certain things like the about that's the thunder about the pay. What is the paycheck like? We're afraid. So, are you asking the right questions? Are we even supposed to be asking about paychecks and things like that? What are we supposed to be asking? There's a way to do it. And there are a few questions that must be thrown in the mix while you're dating, especially if you are courting. So, tonight we are looking at, are you asking the
The right
right
question.
questions? And what are these questions that you should be asking your partner? Send this to your single friends, send this to the friends who want to get married, because these things will be the or one of the things that makes the difference in how you enter something that will make you regret it or something that will make you extremely excited
Mm.
that I entered into this relationship.
Beautiful. And you know what is so deep about this topic? Some persons might look at it and
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I've been asking the right questions, but
That's
what
nice.
I come to understand, and what person should know, that the right questions,
Hmm.
especially like in the dating phase or courting phase, it is relative,
Yeah, it's very.
right? Because I might say, the right question for me is, hey, what do you think about a certain color?
Hmm.
How do you where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Mm,
So it
hmm.
is relative. While
Yeah.
other persons might look at it and say, hey, how much do you value marriage,
Hmm.
as the right question. So
Yeah.
everybody, when it comes to the right
Yeah.
question, has their own thought process
Hmm.
of what that looks like, and also,
Mm.
why it is also something that is needed. When I say needed, meaning that
Yeah.
in courting and getting into that phase, in
Hmm.
asking the right question, because at the end of the day, the relationship, and what we have experienced
Yeah.
from our last two lives with the couples, that it,
Mm.
even though it can be divinely
Mhm,
orchestrated,
mhm,
you
mhm.
still have to ask these questions, because
Yes.
God put you together. You still can find yourself in a relationship, um you know
Yeah.
going to a lot,
Mm,
and
mm.
sometimes the lot that you're going to
Yes.
could be a little less, right?
Mhm.
Not saying that you won't go to stuff, but it
Yeah.
could be a little less if you had asked certain questions, or get an
Absolutely.
understanding of where that person's mindset is.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow.
That's heavy. Heavy on the
Wow.
questions.
Yes,
So
yes.
there are questions that we're asking, and there are some right or wrong questions that we can ask. And many times we find that we are just going through these relationships, as my husband said, just existing, or just going along each day with some
Hmm.
pop-up stuff. Some things come
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
you question some things, you don't question some things, and then it goes into the marriage phase. And then when you are in the marriage, no, you can't come out.
Hmm.
You may find that, oh, it's when I was in it, these things
Yes.
came up. And it's not that they are not going to be things that will come up after the marriage, but it is our responsibility to question the people that we are going to start life
Hmm.
with. It is our responsibility that we are doing our research. Yes, is interview. It doesn't matter if they feel like, oh, you're questioning me, question them. You're in an interview. Question them. You need to do your homework, you need to do your research, because this is a lifetime
Hmm.
situation.
Yes,
So don't let
yes.
anybody make you feel like you are in the wrong or in error for asking questions. Do you think that you asked me the right questions?
And no, I think, and I thought about it
Mm-hmm.
strangely before we came on, like,
Yeah.
throughout the day today, and I was like, wow, did I ask the right questions?
Mm.
I feel like one of the biggest question, or one of the
Yeah.
the right questions that I think I asked was, and it was pretty much when I saw that side of you, that little side that kind of closed off emotionally.
Yeah.
And I said, that you always talk about, when I said
Mm.
to you, when we get into
Yes.
marriage,
Yes. Yes. You did ask that.
yeah, is
Mm-hmm.
it going to be different?
Yes.
Because I saw, I don't want to say a red flag.
It's a red flag. It's red flag. Yes,
True,
it's red
it is
flag.
definitely a red flag,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, I would say
It was a
yeah,
red
because
flag.
it was something that I needed, um,
Yeah.
in the relationship. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a red flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I
Yes.
remember today.
But then hear what knows. But he asked me the question, he saw the red flag, he asked me the question, and I told him yes, based on my truest
Hmm. You're
desires.
not honest.
My heart. No, I was honest. Me did really honest. Like I was
Oh,
honest.
you
I
thought that? Okay,
thought
yeah,
that the answer that I gave was an honest one, because I was telling you from what I could give.
yes, yes, yes,
But when I came in the marriage, I realized that
yes,
there was a an issue that was not dealt
yes.
with.
So
And
you never knew
so,
about it. Yeah,
right, I didn't know
true.
about all of that. So we're going into this topic tonight. Once again, go ahead and share the live. Click the like
Hmm.
button. And if you've not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe.
And click the notification bell,
Yes,
so
so you
you're able to see
know
our videos when they pop up.
when they pop
Our
up.
lives, pretty
Yes,
much.
or lives
Yeah,
and
cause yeah,
videos.
we be doing a lot of lives.
We
Yeah.
do videos as well. All
Yes.
right. So once again, it's our responsibility to ask the questions when you are dating, when you are courting, that is preparing for marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not that it's going to guarantee a painless life, but it will always create some awareness around the responses that you are given. So, tonight, what we're going to be doing, we're going to tweak it for you. We're going to do a little thing special for you where you're not just going to get the questions that you need to ask, but we are going to also show you the behavior that will be exposed
Mm-hmm.
when you ask a
Mm-hmm.
certain question.
Mm-hmm.
So, once again, you're going to get the questions and you're going to get the behavior that will be exposed
Yes.
when you ask the questions. So, when you ask a certain question, when you ask a down the line of togetherness, what you're doing is you're actually getting a peek into the baggage
Mm-hmm.
or that person's successes and healthy habits that you are going to inherit. So, you know somebody based on what they present to
Mm-hmm.
you, what they tell you, what other people say. So that is why you have to do your homework. You have to ask them and you have to watch the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Yeah.
have to
Take note.
talk to
Yeah.
other people about this person because you can't take everything that they say. You have to see it. And then, yes, the other things are left along the
Mm-hmm.
way. So the rest is history, like we said. So what you know is based on what the person presents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a way you can develop. Hello, Kenisha. Welcome.
Hey, Kenisha.
So there is a way that you ask these questions. Now, tip number one, when you're asking the opposite sex, if you're a male, when you're asking the female that you're planning to get married to, or you want this long-term relationship with, you want to look at all categories that makes up this person.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the body, spirit, soul. Now your questions, this is a little tip, the questions should are best aimed at all of these spheres. Don't be out there asking a bag of money question and you don't remember the soul of the
Mm-hmm.
person, the
Mm-hmm.
spirit of the person, or the flesh of the person because they are made, they are triune. So your questions must be geared, hitting at all three. That's tip number one. The second tip is that you don't want to be intimidating with your questions. You don't want to sound accusatory as well. You don't want to come off scary. You don't want to be hyper holy. You don't want to be hypersensitive, like you're triggered. So you need to know like a little detective.
Yes.
And you don't want to behave like you're woke more than everybody else. And the next one is you don't want to sound weird. You don't want to come off weird. So these are some ideal ways you can put and phrase the questions when you're asking. You're going into something long term, you phrase it or you tweak it a certain way. So once again, we're going to give you the questions and then we're going to give you behaviors that these questions will expose. You see, we're kind of doing the work for you, you know. We're exposing the flip side
Mm-hmm.
of the questions. So, question number one. If you're ready for the question, say, I am ready in the chat. So, go ahead and put, I'm ready. I'm ready for the question.
Yes.
Hit us with the questions. I'm ready. We're not going to start without the questions, without the comments. So, I'm ready. We're giving you five. Blessings. Hey,
Hi, Samantha.
Sam. So if you're ready, say, I am ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I am ready. Go ahead and put that in the chat. I am ready for these questions. Yay, Kenisha, I'm ready. Good job. Anybody else ready? I'm ready. All right, so hit us with the question. I am ready. Awesome, Tom. Very good. Giving you a virtual high five. All right, so the question number one. What in your, awesome Samantha, what in your estimation, so if you are a female and you have a partner, you're going to ask them this question. What, in your estimation, is the foundation of a healthy, long lasting marriage? What do you think? Hey, Thai K family,
Thank you.
what do you think is the foundation of a lasting marriage? What do you think is the foundation of a lasting relationship? Now, what this is going to expose to you is it will show you what your partner think is the
Mm-hmm.
glue
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
holding you and him together. And if it's a female, the glue to holding you and her
Together.
together.
Yes.
And it's also showing you that in hard times, you know just what is going to happen if certain things are not in place. So that's the behavior it is showing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think holds a marriage together? If he says parents giving us advice, friends supporting us, then you know that if the parents not there one in a
Or the
problem,
friends.
or the friends not there one in problem,
Yes.
you know you're doomed. So it's not that it will guarantee the success of a marriage, but at least you know that you're aware
It's a
of the
mindset.
mindset
Yes.
that this person has going into the marriage. Number, Christ Jesus. All right. So, number two, the second question you want to ask is, do you believe you are in assignment? Ask them this question. Single ladies, single men, if you're dating and you're not asking this question, something wrong. That
Yes.
means you don't know either. Do you know and do you believe you are in assignment? What's your calling? What's your purpose? That this life that you are in, you're supposed to fulfill. Are you in assignment? Why would you want a partner? Why do you want to get married? Why do you want to walk down this aisle? Why you want to choose me? Do you have something to dress and keep
Mm.
like Adam? So, are you in assignment? And could you share with me what that assignment is? Because I want to know
Yes.
if I am capable to carry it. Hey, Shakira, greetings. So, I want to know if I am able to carry this
Mm.
assignment. Because let me tell you something, guys. The assignment is best carried by someone who is equipped
Yes.
and capable to sustain it. It's no other way around that. And it's the assignment that needs to be sorted out first before people go and look help meet, preferably.
And just to interject a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
the beautiful thing about knowing that person's assignment also is that it gives you a chance to look into yourself. All
Beautiful.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So if this person says, "Hey, I feel like my calling is, to be," um,
Yeah.
normally we use the word. Let's say a pastor, a
Pastor.
minister. We
Mm-hmm.
normally use that
Yes.
analogy. So we're going to use that. You have to look into yourself and say, "Okay, am I at this place
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
to
Can I
accommodate
carry?
this person?"
Mm.
You understand? Because it's not a walk in the park
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So while you ask that question, it gives you also a chance to say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what do I have inside me as a woman
Yeah. Or a
or a
man.
man to
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, I can accommodate this person if
Yeah.
we get to that place.
Awesome. That's a very, the introspect is very good.
Yes, yes.
All right. Question number three. My gosh. What are your thoughts on marriage being 50-50? Hey, you're going to learn some things about people asking these
Mm.
questions. Write them down if you can. And if you can't write them down now on the live, write them down after
After.
when you catch the replay. So, what are your thoughts on marriage being 50-50? How much are you willing to insert in your marriage? Is it a 50-50 for you? Now, the behavior that this is going to expose is you will see how much the person is willing to shoulder you when you are inconvenienced. So, on a day, let's say you are sick, and he came in the marriage saying, listen, marriage is 50-50, and one day you are sick. Is he going to be saying, listen, we agreed on 50-50, you have to pull up yourself? There are some days when he may have to do 60 and it's a
Mm,
40
mm,
for you.
mm.
There are some days when it's a 30 for him and it's a 70 for you. So is marriage 50-50 in your idea, in your ideal perspective? What percentage is marriage in terms of half for you, half for me? You have to ask that question. Ask the question. Number four, what does your past dating life look like? Hey, hey. You better ask.
Yes.
Don't care if they don't feel happy about it. What does your past dating life look like, sir or ma'am? How many people you date? You think you should ask the question about the number? Like how many people you dated?
Well, in this new age, it's almost like asking this person, what's your body count? And
Wow.
it's not,
It's kind of offensive.
yeah, it's kind of offensive.
Mm-hmm.
What's your body count? How many people have you been with? How many people,
Mm,
you know,
yes, but hear what?
yeah,
But that is why I said there's a way to ask it. Because if you say, what does your dating life look like?
yes,
You're not really
yes,
asking
yes,
how much people you've been with,
yes.
but you're asking what did it look like. So it's up to you if you want to give the total number. But
I don't,
yeah, but you get,
I don't think that's going to be easy.
it's not easy for some people, but for some
But
it's
but but but
necessary to
the
know.
proper analogy as what you have
Hmm.
put it is, what does your dating life look
Look
like?
like, yeah,
You know, so I think that is a
fair enough.
fair enough way to put it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what does your dating life look like? How many ex? Well, it go right back to how many ex you have.
You
How many
understand?
exes did you have?
You understand what I'm
And
saying?
all right, so even if we're gonna leave out that part, what your dating life look like, sir, ma'am? Yes, Shakira. The next part of that is what you can ask is what caused your breakups? That's a good part, right? So, what
Yes.
caused your breakups?
Yes.
And then,
Yes.
you know
Yes.
why you need to know this? Because you're going to look out if the person is the common denominator in these breakups. Because for some people, they're never the problem, it's always the ex. So, when you realize now that this person is always among the group being
Yes.
left,
He's never.
something wrong.
Yeah. He's never the one to say, okay, I did something
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Yeah. Or
So,
she's never the one to
yeah,
say, yeah.
that's true. So, this question now is going
Hi,
to
Nicola.
expose,
Good
hey,
night. Good
Nicola,
night.
the behavior that it's going to expose is you will be able to see red flags. And please, when you're asking, don't just ask to sound intelligent and bright and you have something to say. Ask and listen. Ask
Hmm.
and observe. Ask and listen.
Yes. Yes.
Take notes because this is your life. If
Yes.
he's always being left and abandoned or broken up with, no man.
Mm. Mm.
What is it about you so that all the ladies leaving you?
Yes.
What is it about you so much that all the men leaving you? What's wrong? What is it? Something must be questionable. So you ask, like, what caused your breakups? What your relationship in the past look like? What your dating life look like? Were you the one who liked to commit? Were you the one who just like hit and go, hit and go? What did your dating life look like? Number five, what does emotional maturity looks like to you? So instead of saying, are you emotionally mature? Because most time people going to say, yes,
Yes.
yes, I am. So remember, we said there's a way to ask these questions so you don't come off as attacking and you don't come off, Shakira say, whoa. So you don't come off as like superior or hyper holy or weird, but you want to sound like you know what you're talking about. So reverse psychology the questions and say, what does emotional maturity look like to you? Now, this is going to expose to you that if you have a bad day or the person has a bad day or something bad or wrong is happening during the day and you had plans, will the entire day be shattered
Mm.
because things not going well for them? So this gives you the idea now that down the road you have a little tantrum throwing
Hmm.
partner
Yeah.
coming in the marriage because during the dating phase when things don't go right they throw tantrums or they would say no, I just regroup, outsource, and I come again. They don't know that, all right, this sounds workable. Number 6. What does emotional availability means to you? Emotional availability, that's
Yes.
a very broad one. Are you willing to be touched? Are you willing to hold space for this person? Are you willing to be available and present? Are you willing to listen? If they start to cry for pain, will you
Hmm.
be able to say, let me help you? Are you available emotionally? Or if you are expressing, your mouth lock. If they're expressing, you silent. If they're expressing how they feel, you can't reassure.
Yeah.
You can't co-regulate. Are you emotionally available? So it's not that you're gonna ask that directly. What does it look like
Yeah.
to you? And based on the question, you're going to tell where on the continuum this person is. Because you are going to say, wow, then this person is super supportive and loving.
Hmm.
Or you're going to say, wow, this person is very cold and unavailable.
Yes.
But you see, when we skip stages and we don't ask these questions, you go into the relationship not knowing what you're going to get in certain aspects. Because observation alone will not do it.
What I want to add also,
Mm-hmm.
guys, is that make sure that when you're asking these questions, right, it resonates with you also. Yeah.
Beautiful. That was, yes. That was, yeah, man. We're
Yeah,
going there.
make sure it resonates. You had that?
Mm-hmm.
You had that?
Yes, man.
Make sure it resonates with you also. So you
Yes.
cannot ask a person if they're emotionally,
Available.
available and you're not emotionally
Or you
available.
don't know what it
Or
mean.
you don't even have a clue
Yes.
what these things mean.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure it resonates with you also
Yes.
when you're asking these questions.
Awesome point to
Yes.
point out. Very good point. All right, number 7. We're getting deep into things now. Go ahead and like the live, guys. Like the live. If this is speaking to you, like the
Yes.
live.
Yes.
Share the live with a single or a person dating or somebody courting. Even if they're married, share the live. So the next one is number 7. What was your childhood like? These are great questions to ask yourself. Are
I don't
you
know what
don't
it
know
means.
what it means?
Yeah.
Kenisha. All right. So, what was your childhood like? This one is one of them that a lot of us,
Yes.
especially women,
Yes.
don't ask men.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Ladies, we need to do a better job at asking these questions. I don't think I asked you that
No,
question.
most of these like
Oh, we never ask these questions.
I guess it's I think it's based on culture and not just and not
Mm-hmm.
understanding really the
Mm-hmm.
core of our the values when it comes to
Yeah.
getting into something so serious. We have
Yeah.
this little butterfly mentality. You meet
Yeah.
a guy and he look nice and we have great
Mm,
conversation
yeah.
or whatever that looks like for you,
Yeah.
and we just dive in.
Yes. And
So
especially if you are faith based, you're well wonder if the person saved. That's one of the biggest questions. That's all I thought.
yeah,
I
yes,
think that was one of the main
yes,
things I
yes.
was stressing. Did you speak in tongues? Were you baptized?
You have the whole,
Yeah, you
yeah,
have the
yeah,
Holy Ghost.
yes.
Like you wanted to have that part because guess what? That's what our culture promotes. That if he's saved, he's sweetly sanctified,
And God will do the
and
rest.
then
God.
God will do the rest. No, you and I have a responsibility to do our homework
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
this is a whole human being you're going to be living with for your eternity. So, guess what? The next one is once again, ladies, especially what was your childhood like? And here the other part now. How has your past experiences influenced how you view life?
Yeah, you're present. Yeah.
How does your past experiences in childhood, in past relationship, how do those experiences influence how you see life, how you see love, how you see the world, how you see yourself?
Yes.
Now, hear what this is going to expose now. This is going to expose possible attachment bond
Mhm. Mhm.
disorders
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
severing and
Mhm.
dysfunctions.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is going to expose inner childhood
Yeah,
wounds.
trauma.
This is going to expose possible trauma
Yes, yes, yes.
because a lot of people will tell you, oh, my childhood was beautiful. Man, I used to run and play, family nice. And then all of a sudden they say, but mom never used to come home every night or dad was never there. And you start to realize, oh my God,
Yes,
red
yes.
flag, somewhere along the line of this relationship, attachment issues may come up. Hyper vigilance may come up, anger may come
Mhm.
up, avoidance may come up. So it's exposing their attachment styles. It's going to expose faulty mentalities because it's going to show the persona and developmental years formation when you ask these
Yes,
questions.
yes.
So you notice how you're not directly saying were you developed well as a child? Were you mentally stable as a child?
Yes,
Remember, you're not asking that
yes.
because there's a way to do it. So you're not attacking, you're not coming off as scary, but you're asking it in a way where you're tweaking it, you're getting all
Mm.
sides of the story. Some questions people can't pretend. There's some things you will not get a pretentious answer.
Mhm.
So the next one is, what are your top 5 core values? What are your non negotiables? So, those are your core values. What are the things in a marriage or in a long term relationship that you will not do without? Those are your core values. Those are your non negotiable. You're not negotiating these
Mm.
five or those three. Even if you want to put it down to top three, you're not negotiating these top three or top five. So, what this is going to, Kimon says, that's so true. I believe our culture has a lot to do with it. We never really ask those questions.
Yes.
So true, Kimon. All right. So the other part of that is this is going to expose their expectations in relationships. Because if this man said to me that, babe, one of my non-negotiable is loyalty. I'm not doing a marriage without loyalty. Then I am going to say then, oh, he expects me to be
Mhm.
faithful.
Mhm.
So these questions will expose a perceived value, it will expose behaviors, and it will expose expectations. How we doing so far? How you think we're
Wonderful,
doing? All
wonderful.
right.
Come on, guys, like the live, like the live.
Yes, like the live and share. Let me
Like,
tell you, these questions, some of them hit me for six. Like, what? Yes. All right. So the next one is, which is number 9. We're going on good. Number 9 says, hear this one now, guys. How far is too far in a marriage?
yes.
Hmm? How far is too far in a marriage? How far are you willing to go if there is crisis? How far? So, what's your deal breaker?
Yeah.
So, if you and I get married now, sir or ma'am, what is your deal breaker? What is it that I can do to
Mhm.
make you change your mind about me? The vow say until death do us part. But what is your deal breaker?
Yes.
Because here, what now this is going to expose? This is going to expose who run the show in this person's marriage. Not in terms of the either
Mhm.
partner,
Mhm.
but who influences the eternity or the eternal duration of your marriage. Who determines that? Is it cheating? Is it mother-in-law? Is it friends? Or is it God?
Yes.
So it's going to expose who determines the duration of your marriage. Wow.
Deep.
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 Number 10. And then I'm going to pause and you share some of yours. So, number 10, how do you navigate conflicts during hard times? How do you navigate situations that makes you feel attacked.
So does that would you connect that to conflict resolution?
Conflict
Okay, okay,
resolution.
okay, okay.
And also, again, this is exposing attachment styles. So let's say somebody comments, let's say you and the partner have an argument. Will they shut down? So
Hmm.
it's exposing their attachment style, how they love on you, different from love language. Will they shut down and avoid and then hope that it works out? Or will they become anxious? Oh my God, I said something wrong. I need to be in their presence. They call this the
Hmm.
puppy analogy, where you're just scampering around the person. You don't want to be left. You don't want to be rejected. I said the wrong thing. Lord Jesus, babe, I'm sorry. That you are so anxiously attached. The other one is disorganized attachment, where the fear, the rejection, the worry, the catastrophizing, the paranoia just takes you over. Everything dead. Everything is doom and gloom. Disorganized attachment. And then you have secure attachment,
Hmm.
where, okay, I am responsible for what I said, for my own attitude, for my own growth. My partner is responsible for their attitude, for what they said, for their own growth. And so we will shift together out of a negative cycle, or we will co regulate each other, because my nervous system speaks to his. And if I'm calm for him, he'll be calm for me. So, secure attachment. So, once again, how will you navigate? How will you deal with these hard times? How will you deal with these tumultuous situations when you feel attacked? How do you deal with that? So you're not going to ask the person, you're angry? You're an angry person. You're going to say, how do you deal with situations when you feel attacked?
Yes.
Cool. So I'm going to pause a little bit. I have a few
Continue
more.
because
You
they,
sure?
yeah, continue. I'll add mine because basically you covered a few.
No, man, we want to hear what you have to say. Right? We want to hear his voice. So go ahead and share some of what
Yeah.
you
So
have.
you went a little deep
Mm,
with yours,
okay.
which is good. But on the surface, a little bit, guys. One of the question is well, you touched on conflict resolution already.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you touched on deal breaker,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what I wanted to add to that is, what are
Yeah.
your pet peeves,
Ooh. Yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not about deal breaker, but
Yes.
something that you dislike, something
Oh
that gets
my
under your
gosh.
skin. If this
Mercy.
person does this,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's almost like it's triggered.
Let me give you a little story. I remember when before we got married, it wasn't with him, but somebody, like, I think it was one of my pet peeves was I hated how if a guy ate like a pig, I can't like him. I used to watch deliberately how that young man eats. So if men ate and it sounded
A
like
certain
it's
way.
grunty, and yes, man, it
Flop,
used
flop, flop,
to
flop,
get
flop.
under my skin.
Yeah.
I knew, my God would have to help me to say yes to that person. So that was a major pet peeve for me.
Yeah. So
What
on
was
that,
yours? Yeah,
mine.
pet peeve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think like time.
Time.
Yeah, I'm a person that I like to be on time. I'm not saying that I'm. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
like to be on time. And as you know, women.
No, not not over here. So
Women,
not in this
women,
case. I'm normally ready before you.
especially when they're getting ready. We have a lot of women
Mm-mm.
need to. Yeah, you know.
Isabel, I'm
Listen,
ready before Anthony most of
listen.
the times.
Don't come. They want to
Pet
take
peeve
one year.
time.
Well, women on the line, no, on the live, no. Take
Okay.
a year to get ready
Okay.
and all of that. So that gets under my skin, and
Kenisha,
it's still it's we're still going through it.
nothing not go so. You got that one wrong.
we're still, but to the grace of God, we will get there.
Kenisha, how is it that he's gonna have a pet peeve of time management when
Yeah.
I am usually ready
No,
before
we
him?
know we know that we
Seriously?
know no we know how that is.
All
We
right.
know how that is.
All
But
right.
but yeah, What is your pet peeve?
Mm-hmm.
So you get an understanding of, knowing what this person, what gets under this person's skin.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So going forward, if you do decide to go forward,
Yeah.
it's easy to navigate. And also when it comes to that aspect of,
Yes, it was both ways.
well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
true, true.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so what I was saying is that if you choose to decide to go forward with that person, you get a better understand how to navigate,
Yeah.
knowing what this person dislikes. But
Mm-hmm.
also, what I want to add is that, oh, sorry, come to bump.
Yes.
You have to be emotionally
Mm.
stable. When
Yes.
I say
Mm-hmm.
emotionally stable, is that sometimes we can get. It's almost like if you don't put it out there,
Yeah.
right? The person might not understand
Mm-hmm.
that this is what it is.
This a tick me off,
You
man.
understand? So it is good to put it out there and to say,
Yes.
okay, this is what's going on. So it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like, let's say a person you're supposed to ready to get to go out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this person,
Yeah.
decides to be late. You're not telling them that this is your
Yes.
pet peeve, right?
Yes.
And something because we all know that life happens.
Mm-hmm.
Things can happen,
Yeah.
and this person decides not to show up for whatever. Are you emotionally stable? Oh, she's just
Yeah, yeah, she
yeah,
recapping.
right. And you, because of you not being mature on that level,
Yes.
you create a whole argument.
Yes.
You create a whole
Mm-hmm.
argument based on that.
Mm-hmm.
So it is best to share, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let the person know that, listen, this is
Yeah.
my pet peeve, or the question, as I said, you ask that question so it's able
Mm-hmm.
to navigate.
Yeah.
All right. So the other one I wanted to mention also is
That's good.
asking the man what's the role of a man, what is his
Okay.
role,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And why I say that is because you have men
Mm-hmm.
that do believe that um, providing
Mm.
for them is just providing.
Wow.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the emotional aspect,
Yeah.
they are zero to none.
Wow.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the biggest questions also.
Yes.
What's your role? It gives you a mindset to say, okay, what is this man thinking
Mm-hmm.
of his role?
Mm.
Oh, I'm just a provider, a man, is provider.
Yes.
But what other areas, like what else is there about you
Mm-hmm.
as a
Mm-hmm.
man?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
When you come into this marriage, what do you bring as a man? You
Yes.
understand? So that
Yes.
is also one.
Mm.
The other one, I think you have covered a few. Two, two, two,
Mm-hmm.
two, two. Um, yeah, you covered what are your views on marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So the other one is your views on communication.
Big one. Big
You did
one.
not have that, right?
Mm-mm. No.
Communication, guys, is big.
Mm.
We
Oh
all know that
yes.
communication is something that is needed in a relationship. It's something
Yes.
that, listen, a relationship cannot stand
Mm-hmm.
um, without that aspect.
Yes.
But what you touch on, are you the type of person that will shut down
Mm.
when you have certain disagreements or
Yeah.
certain stress or whatever it is?
Yes.
He's
Yes.
not
Mm.
open to talk about it,
Yeah.
right? So you hearing you asking a man that question,
Mm. Or a woman.
or a woman, we're not
Mm-hmm.
going to be biased. That doesn't mean if he says, listen, this is how I deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to get upset about it. You
Yeah.
understand? It's not something that you get upset about it or back and forth or whatever. It helps you, as you said, to
Yes.
make the conscious decision because
Mm-hmm.
as we talked about, that communication is very important.
Yes.
You understand? And also you don't um him saying that, it doesn't mean that you should never compromise. If you
Mm.
stand on something, let's say you believe that marriage should be this way,
Yeah.
built on God, but he has a different, okay, that's his view,
Mm-hmm.
but don't compromise.
So don't compromise in the marriage.
No, no, we're not. Are we talking about marriage?
The, oh no, yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I'm so used to the channel being marriage, but so don't compromise your standards
Yeah, don't
for
compromise the standards. If
so
he said
just to get the
just to
ring.
get, yeah,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
to get
Mm.
him saying, okay, yeah, I can work, or you
Mhm.
trying to, because another
Yeah.
thing is that sometimes we have this mindset that, listen,
Mhm.
this person comes along, he or she might look different than what we are used to. And when
Yes.
I say
Mhm.
what we're used to, we might used to a level person, but this
Mhm.
person is like a cut above the rest. Beautiful,
Yeah.
just nice and
Mhm.
smells nice, whatever it is. And we
Mhm.
feel like, listen, we're not gonna get nobody else
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
person. And
Mhm.
so we find ourselves compromising
Yeah.
on a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
You understand? This person brings me off. I feel
Yeah.
like if he has money, like, things that we normally discuss.
Mhm.
When a person, looks over
Mhm.
the important stuff
Yeah.
and decide to say, okay, I'm going to choose this person for whatever reason.
Mhm.
You understand? So do not compromise. If it's what you
Mm.
believe in, don't bash the person because they said, okay, I believe in this.
Yeah.
You understand? It only helps you to make a decision
Mm.
quicker, pretty much,
Right. On what
on
this
what,
is
yeah,
gonna be.
on what to do.
Mhm.
So we spoke about that. What else?
Okay. I'm gonna go on to some and then come back to you.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. So my other four now. And those are some pretty good ones. People may say, oh, those are simple questions, but they're really, really, really impactful. So the other one that I have is, how do you deal with success and winning moments? And this might seem obvious to so many people to say, oh, then I must celebrate or feel good. But a lot of people, when they become excited or when they become successful, they spend a lot. So, you may find that, okay, you have a partner who loves to spend when he's
Mm,
excited, or you have a wife that will go shop for all her friends when she wins an award or she gets
mm,
a promotion. So, you want to know if you are with, let's say, an amiable, we talked about financial language last week. If you're with an amiable who loves to spend to make
mm,
the marriage feel like it's the person is loved, or you're dealing with somebody who's analytic with finances, or if you have a driver who wants to spend to seem important, or they need to have money to feel
mm,
like
mm,
they are in the crowd, in the right circle. So you want to ask these questions so you know exactly who you are dealing with. When you are excited, when you're successful, when you have a winning moment, do you go and drink? Do you go to parties? Like, what
mm.
do you do when you're actually in a winning season? Simple but very profound.
Yeah.
The next one is, do you have a financial plan? What's your financial plan? What is your financial language? A lot of people don't know their financial language. If you don't know, go back and check our video that we did last week called Money Language or Marriage and Money. Yes. Do you have any financial fears? There are some partners who are afraid to be successful. Who are you with? Are you with a person who will limit the success of your family due to generational fear of money, due to having a poor
Mm,
relationship with money? It was so hard to come by with your mom, with your dad, but then when you get married, you are afraid to launch out. And then what's going to happen is that person will begin to cramp the
mm.
destiny of the
Yes.
other partner who wants to step out. Listen, don't bypass these questions. I promise you, they seem simple, some of them, but they are so important. Do you have a financial fear? The other one is, do you have a financial secret? Do you have financial responsibilities? What are your financial secrets? Meaning, you have a bag of loan,
Mm,
do you have a bag of bills? Do you have a pile of bills? Do you have secretive loans that will pop up
yes.
after the marriage? Are there things out there with your name attached to it? Are we going to get any shockers financially when we get married? What's your current paycheck like? Can it carry us just in case I don't get a job in the initial stage of the marriage? And if it can't carry us, what are the alternatives? What can we do? What are the backup plans? So, what are your overall views on money? Is it to be saved? Is it to be spent appropriately? Is it to be wasted?
Yes.
Because some people believe that YOLO, you only live once. So, guess what? Splurge, just spend money, enjoy life, do what you couldn't do when you were younger. And then there's not much plan for a family. When everybody laugh and eat and they're gone, you're left sitting with the bills. So the next one is, do you have a healthy lifestyle? Because there are many people who will get married to persons who are not taking care of themselves. They may only look well, but internally, you
Hmm.
don't want to have unnecessarily a sick spouse. Because
Yes.
nobody gets married planning to spend the rest of their years nursing, especially things that you could
Hmm.
take control of. And I know Isabel said, yes, the men, they like to tell ladies to go to gym, exercise, look nice, look shape up. When last you exercise?
Yes.
Because the
When was it?
men,
Or when was the last time you did a checkup?
when was the last time you did a checkup? Very good.
Yeah.
So, what is your lifestyle like in terms of your health? What is your lifestyle like in terms of how you eat? What do you put in your body? How are you taking care of your body? Are you walking? Do you drink a lot of water? Like, what are you doing to ensure I'm not left as a widow? Sound morbid, don't it? But it's so important because it can't be that it's only the ladies that are expected to take care of themselves and look good, but then our men's life expectancy is way lower. When last you went to get a checkup? The next one is, what are your views on spirituality,
Hmm.
religion? Where will we worship? What do you believe? How many gods do you believe in? What's your denomination preference? What is your religion? What are your thoughts about the what they call it? The what's the name that they give to God? Like the heavenly being, or what are your
Yeah.
ideas? Because this was a question I saw couples asking, how do you exist with a person who believes something else? My answer would be, believe. If you're not believing the same thing, it's going to be a problem.
Yes.
It's going to be a problem that's unequally yoked. So, what's your view? Also, if you have children, where will they go to worship? Where are we going to worship? Are we worshiping in the one building? Or you don't believe that we should be worshiping or going to church every week or every Sunday or whatever? What are your ideas around church? Don't be fooled. Sometimes you see them going to church. They seem to have a good relationship with God. And when it's time for marriage, they'll tell you, let's stay home this week. Or let's stay home next 4 weeks. Nobody don't need to care. We're married. I'm my own big man. I'm my own big woman. So the lifestyle that you thought was there with intimacy with God was not there. They only looked the part when they were scoping out a spouse.
Yes.
And when it's time for marriage now, that has dwindled. So ask those questions. The last three that I have are, were you involved in any experience as a child or in the past that would detriment or cause a detriment to the emotional safety of our marriage? This is a hard one because many times you don't want to share certain things in your past, especially if it's a case where you've not healed from it. But let me tell you, if the person is asking and they want to be in a committed lifelong marriage relationship with you, it's best to share in that stage, not before and not after. Get it cleared out of the way. Talk about it. Talk about how it affected you during your courtship stage and courting stage, and allow the person time to process with you and without you.
So you're talking about sharing these things
Sharing these
early.
details, yes, before the
Yeah.
marriage.
And also why it is so important, guys, to share, to ask these questions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that um, if you're not careful, you get emotionally attached.
Mhm.
You understand?
Mm.
You get emotionally attached. So let's say you
Yeah.
meet this person, you keep hopscotching and you're asking whatever you're asking,
Yeah.
and gradually, and I feel like that's what really happens
Yeah.
most times.
Mhm.
And you talk on the phone at hours at night and you get close to
Mhm.
that person,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So when it's time, let's say you decide, no, okay, I got the questions,
Yeah.
and no, remember, you're now emotionally attached to
Attached.
this person.
Mhm.
So especially the man,
Mhm.
he's not going to be honest about most of these things, or
Mhm.
maybe important things,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if
Mhm.
it's shady.
Mhm.
He's not going to be attached. He's not going to be honest, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, he's looking, okay, this person might know, and I'm
Mhm.
so attached to this person. Or the woman might say, okay,
Mm.
I'm not attached to this person, so I am not going to be truthful
Yeah.
about it. You
Mhm.
understand?
Yes.
So sometimes, or most times, it is good to get these things out of the way as best as
Mm.
possible before the emotional connection, so you're able
Yes.
to walk away. You
Mhm.
understand? Without saying, okay, I might work because I really like him,
Yeah.
I really care, I really
Yes.
feel like me I love him,
Yeah.
right? And then it is harder to walk away
Mhm.
whenever certain things comes up.
Yes.
You decide, okay, I'm gonna work with it,
Mhm.
and then you find yourself in
Yeah.
problems.
Or even know how to navigate that season with the person.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the person may just need some help in how to deal with this thing. And because you're so attached now, I heard one man say that he was very, very, very unfaithful in his marriage. And he said because the women don't like to acknowledge the man's season.
Mm.
If he's in a season where he's very unfaithful, why are you continuously dating him? Because you're going to get married to a serial cheater and then it's going to come back in the relationship. So we have to pay attention to the seasons of this person and don't get so distracted and tolerate the disruptions in your values just
Mm-hmm.
because you want the ring. And we're going to talk about seasons maybe next week when we hit that topic. So the other one is very good point. Thanks for sharing that. So the other one is, do you have family drama? Who in your family are you not currently interacting with? Because if you want to know if you have a malice keeper, you want to know if your family is going to be divided. Are you going into a toxic family?
Yes.
Sometimes it looks good. You never yet see this person bring a sister, an aunt, an uncle. He doesn't have any relatives. She doesn't have any relatives. Is it just your family there around? What's happening in your family? Do you have family drama? Is it that you and your family members don't get along well, and why? Ask the questions. And if they are not giving you a straight up answer, please go ask somebody in his family. Ask somebody in their family or in her family, because that's going to be something that will cause an altercation between how you navigate as an in-law after
Mm-hmm.
the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you. The next one is, do you want children? How many children do you want? At what point in the marriage do you want these
Mm-hmm.
children? And what if there is a challenge in conceiving?
Yes.
What would be the next steps? So this one is diced in different parts. Do you want children? How many children do you want? At what point in the marriage? After 2 years, after 3 years? And what if there's a challenge in conceiving? What would be your next steps to
Mm-hmm.
getting these children? Would you be unfaithful? Would you love me less? Would you see me less of a woman, less of a man? And if I can't produce or reproduce with you, what would be our next steps? We need to know before the marriage. All right. Now stick around for the last three. These are going to really, really hit the spot. So the next one is, how do you discipline children? Or how do you believe children should be disciplined? This is going to expose how they were disciplined as a child. This is going to expose if they were abused, or if because of a loving, safe family in the past, they're going to exhibit the same behaviors
Mm-hmm.
towards your children. You're going to see if that person is stressed, they can't love on your children. The children are going to also feel
Yes.
when daddy is stressed or when mom is stressed. So how would you discipline a child? If the child gets out of hand, will they still know they're the sweetest little girl in the world or the most handsome little boy in the world? How will you deal with your children? Because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, disciplining children is one of the most problematic things in a marriage because mommy not agreeing with what daddy doing, daddy not agreeing with what mommy doing and how they are disciplining or grooming the children.
Mm-hmm.
One way, let me talk to them, or you know, don't talk to them like that. And especially if the child is there, that conflict of interest. So it has to be talked about before. Next one. This one is for couples who are courting and not for those who are single. So let me whisper this one. There is a sheet in premarital counseling. There's an activity called Yes, No, Maybe So. And that one is the spicy question where you're going to be asking about sexual preferences. And you can behave shy and cute with these questions, but you'll have to expose or explain to an extent. All right, I am not into certain acts, even in a marriage, or yes, I don't have a problem doing certain things in the marriage. So you want to know there's 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 also a question that we recommend. It's not very important, but if there is an issue with, should I say it on the web?
Huh?
Should I say it?
What like
Size.
what does it start with?
S.
Size?
Mhm. If there's an issue
Issue
with,
size?
with size,
Yeah.
right? If the person, though, if you think the person, let's say you have a what you call it, a limitation, or let's say you're overly blessed, if there is an issue on either ends, how will you navigate this extra blessing? Can you, are you somebody who was experienced before? Because let me tell you, not because you're overly blessed mean you're going to be jumping hallelujah in your bed. There are some overly blessed men who cannot get a good experience with their partners. I hope I'm reading between the lines what I'm saying.
I think they are. They are.
Because
They are.
being overly blessed can be an hindrance. It can be something that is like torture.
You be wombless.
No, you're going too far. You're gone too far. No, no, we're gonna keep it holy. Okay? So don't listen to him, guys. That one is so important. Or yeah. Or or Kenisha, or what if you're limited? What if you are limited in size? And you know, I said to my husband, say, this is something we joke about. I said to my husband, say, if he should die before me, one of the questions I'm asking my next husband is, what's your size? Because me want to know. To be honest, guys, I'm not telling you any lie. I'm not, unless God tell me don't ask them. If the Lord said don't ask, that is not appropriate or sinful. I want to know what I'm going to be dealing with,
Yes.
because these questions, some of the things that we skip out, take it from us and our marriage. If we didn't remember or even know to ask and it caused an issue in the marriage, use us as an example. Ask them in your marriages, in your relationship, in your situation. I'm not saying go pry in the people them
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
things. I'm not saying go do that. But when you're courting, when you reach down to the partner where you've said yes, you have an engagement ring, and it's now time for move into the lifelong part. It's only fair, men. Come on, if you did have an illness or a sickness, you want the person to know that this is what you're going to deal with. Are you able to deal with me having this illness? You have to tell the people them these things. I'm asking, it's important to discuss this because sometimes it's an insecurity for most. It's
Yes,
true.
yes, yes, yes.
It is so true. It's only fair, Isabel. Because why would you want me to get married to you? No, we can't divorce just so. And me going at the marriage now, and you don't have nothing that can help me. Stop it. And I'm not talking about money.
I was looking at my finger.
Stop. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about material things. But
Yes,
married people, you know what we're talking about. You don't have anything that really can do something, by itself.
yes, yes, yes.
So you need to tell me now that, as a wife, we're going to have to be creative. Let me know what I'm up against. Like, come on, guys, it's only fear, men. And I know it can be an area of insecurity, but please, in safety and trust, have, yes, it's deceptive.
Yes.
It is deceptive. I've had wives ask this question, Shanice, what do I do? We get married and him don't have anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, something is there now, but not what, on its own, or maybe the person don't know how to manipulate and use it. And then you have the ones who are extra and overly blessed. And some of them even have to go to the doctor to get it contained.
Yeah.
You have to tell the ladies, and ladies, if you also have an issue with something along the way, share it. It's only fair. You cannot go in the marriage and then on honeymoon night, you back off your veil now and him say one missing, or come on. We have to be fair. So this this sheet is called the yes no maybe so, and I only use it with married couples, or I only use it with those who are courting. So the relationship is getting into the marriage, and there are quite a few questions. If he does this, would you feel triggered? Will it bring you back to a time in your past when you maybe were violated? So it is so important. It's hard, but you just have to be honest, as Nicola said. Very good, Nicola. All right. So the next one is, and this is the last three for me, and let me tell you, these three, if you didn't.
What I want to add though,
Mhm,
would you say that it is safe? And I understand,
mm,
you know, you said before, engagement and you asked the question.
yeah,
But do you think it is wise to ask it after getting engaged?
after engagement.
Yeah. So if we love each other,
Mm-hmm,
and we engage, and then you find out that I'm saying, listen, this is what is going on,
mm-hmm,
and you know that, listen,
yeah.
that's not my thing, in a sense.
In terms
Thing
of
thing mean, as we mentioned, size, or
mm,
this person said, listen, I have
oversized.
this
Mm,
or whatever.
mm-hmm.
Um, what do you do now? Do you
Okay.
break
So
break it off?
no. So so you're asking, say, what if the person is oversized and you are heading to engagement?
No, you said ask it after you're engaged. So everybody knows that we're
Mm-hmm.
engaged.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking okay going
Mm-hmm.
forward. We're looking to plan wedding and all
Mm.
the excitement.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, do you think it is safe to
Mm.
do that? Ask those questions after engagement.
Okay. Um, yes and no. If it's a case, we know that these cases are not very common all the time, especially the oversized, because that's a medical condition or a medical abnormality.
Mm.
So if you have an abnormal thing going on, it's typically advised that you share before you engage somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a case where, like a bad habit or whatever, if you're engaged, then you can discuss. Because the point of the engagement is you understand in this part that you are now entering into a sacrificial covenant.
Mm-hmm.
So also understand that engagements can be broken, and you must not have a shame if you realize that this person engaged you deceitfully. Your engagement is best to be either on pause, or you say, I have to retract.
I think, and I understand where you're coming from,
Hmm.
but in my,
Yeah.
just looking at it, I think, because you have to understand, like, you have to, go along a certain path to get to engagement.
Right.
The dating, and you get to know each other. You meet my parents with
Yeah.
this, with that, and then bam, bam. After a certain time frame, whether it's a
Mhm.
year or two or three, then we
Mhm.
decide to get engaged and
Mhm.
get married.
Right.
So I'm saying there must be a comfortable place
Yeah,
before.
man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm saying,
Mhm.
why jump? Why
Mhm.
wait until? And I'm not
Yeah.
just talking about size or whatever. As you talk
Mhm.
about like different things with a woman also,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Why
Mhm.
would you let me
Mhm.
go and buy a ring,
Mm.
tell my parents, my pastor, everybody in the
Right.
church to say,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, we're going to get married,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to sit you down and say, listen,
That's a great point.
you
Mhm.
understand?
That's a
Listen,
great point.
listen. I have this, or this is
Mhm.
going on. Then you'll be like, okay, this is too much.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
understand? So I would say,
Yeah.
listen, along that part, once you're
When you reach
comfortable,
the safety
yeah,
zone.
you're
Mhm.
comfortable with that person, you can um
Mhm.
best to share this before,
Yes,
yeah,
before the
before, yeah,
engagement.
before
Mhm.
engagement, so
Yeah.
the person can
That's
decide,
true.
okay, do
Mhm.
I want to continue with you, or do I say,
Mhm.
listen, I love you, and I care about you, but at
Mhm.
the end of the day, this is kind of too much.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand? So I
That's
think
true.
I think it would be wise to do it
Mhm.
before
Yeah.
engagement. Once you're
Mhm.
at a comfortable place to say, okay,
Mhm.
this is what it is.
Yes, proven years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the safety settle zone. Because it's true, because when you think about engagement for real, engagement is not a sudden surprise
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
movies make it look like, oh my God, I didn't know you wanted to get married to me. But you would have had those moments where, if we get married, you're going to have these conversations before these. If we were to get married, like, how do you navigate this? And it would be coming up before the actual, okay, I'm going to surprise her. She's
Mhm.
proven that she's marriage worthy.
Yeah.
So
No
yes,
hidden, no
you.
hidden
Mhm.
things. There's nothing hidden.
Yes,
Yeah.
but one of the points I wanted to share, especially from a counseling perspective, is that there are some things that you may want to not be too quick to share.
Mhm.
So, because what that can do is you don't necessarily know if the person wants to be married to you,
Mhm.
and then you have released something that you can't take back. So there is that awareness of, all right, don't expose without having the assurity that, hey, I am here with you no matter what.
Mhm.
So the engagement may not happen as yet, but at the same time, you have a level of surety that
Mhm.
I am here with you no matter what.
Yeah.
And then the engagement, will pop up as a surprise afterwards. So it all boils down back to what you're saying, where
Mhm.
you would have had an idea before that this is a safe person for you. So that is absolutely true. That's true. And thanks for making that point, because some, especially culture wise
Mhm.
and church wise, again, they would say, oh, don't tell your secrets until you engage. But as Kanisha said, it would come off as deceiving and deception.
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
wait. You waste your money and buy
That's
this whole
Yeah,
ring.
that's kind of heartbreaking.
Mhm.
Heartbreaking. All right, so our last three, the three, I'd say the top three, or some of the most important questions are: what battles are you currently winning? What are some battles that you are currently winning, whether emotionally, whether spiritually, whether personally, financially? What are you currently winning in your life? And this is going to expose what are his or her strengths, what are his or her discipline, areas of discipline, morals, and values. And then the other one is piggybacking off that is: what battles are you currently losing? So this is also going to expose his or her weaknesses. Their what you call them, the besetting sins, or the faults or the flaws that this person may have, the thorn in the flesh. What is it that they may not have control over just yet? Are they liars? Are they someone who like to take things? Are they someone who like to spread discord? What are you losing currently? Are they someone who don't know how to save? What if the person has a promiscuity behavioral problem? Like, what are you currently losing? You may not be telling anybody about this pain point. All you know, you're going home, you're crying, you're begging God please to help you. It's an area of weakness. What are you currently winning? What battles are you currently losing? The next one is the next one is what generational patterns or curses or strongholds do your family bloodline have in existence? If you don't remember any of them, remember this one. What generational patterns, if you don't want to sound hyper spiritual or weird, or you don't want to sound like you woke more than anybody else, and you don't want to come off like it's a turn off, ask it this way then. What are the patterns in your family that you probably don't like or you are concerned about? And they would probably say, oh, you know that most of my people them get divorced. You know you're dealing with a generational curse right there. Or you know, all of the men in my family always broke. Them never have money, always broke. You know you're dealing with a stronghold in that family. Or you know, all of the ladies die at 40. You know you're dealing with a stronghold in that family bloodline. And so when you become one flesh with that person, their problem become yours. Their problem will become yours. You inherit their problems. So this is going to expose also, number one, the propensity to do the act in your spouse. Because if it's a generational stronghold, it's not that it's a sin to the person just yet, but they are more likely to be at the mercy of that thing. And that is something extremely important we don't want to play with. Anything that you see is a pattern in this bloodline, in this family, in that generation. You want to ensure that you're saying to your spouse, all right, now we know what the challenge is going to be in our marriage, or it's likely that this challenge is going to come back in our marriage. We have to close this door. We have to fight this battle. We have to fight this giant so we don't deal with it down the future or when we have kids, when we have children. So we have to deal with the open doors, the generational strongholds before we move into having children. The last one is, or actually the last set of tips. You have any more you want to share?
I
And
think
then
I
we're
got
going to
maybe two,
close
maybe
off
two
with
more.
our tips,
Maybe
and
two
then
more.
we'll close off right there. Thank you so
Maybe
much
two
for
more.
hanging out with us, guys. I know these are a lot to take in, and there are so many more of these questions, but we're stopping right here for tonight. Go ahead and
Oh yeah. So
cover
what
yours.
I wanted to just add to
Mm-hmm.
most of what you have said, including the last aspect, is that
Mm-hmm.
um I know there is not going to be many men,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and women,
Yeah.
vice versa,
Mm.
that are going to be totally honest.
Yeah. Yep.
And not
Mm.
only that, you're going to have persons also that some of these questions that you might ask, especially the one that you talk about generational curse and
Yeah.
all that,
Mm-hmm.
they might not be aware because it is a
Yeah.
question that not a lot of person really sit down and say, "Oh, I'm going to research that," or "I'm going to think
Mm-hmm.
about that."
Yeah.
So because I don't even think I've ever sat down and say, "Okay, what does my
Mm.
bloodline look like?"
Yeah. And
You
I
understand?
thought about that after marriage. It was after marriage I thought about my generational
You
strongholds.
understand?
Mm.
I that wasn't something that was
Mm-hmm.
in my consciousness. So, what I'm trying to say is that that person might not know,
Mm.
and also they might not be totally honest.
Yeah.
And sometimes these questions, I know it might, as my wife said, it sounds a lot,
Yeah.
but what you have to do is break them down. What I mean break it down, meaning you write it, whether you want to write it down mentally or you write
Mm.
it down on paper,
Yeah.
to say, okay, I'm going to let these questions be a part of me because it is very
Mm.
important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
you might ask these questions and you might not get a straight up answer.
Yes.
So as I said, not forget, but not know, or
Yeah.
they might not be honest.
Mm-hmm.
What you now have to do,
Mm-hmm.
either you mentally write them down
Yeah.
or on paper, going forward in getting
Mm.
to know this person,
Yeah.
you have to know secretly put them in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and when I say secretly put them in, you might just have a random conversation,
Yeah.
and then you might, okay, I'm going to use this question to say,
Sneak
okay,
one in.
what is,
Mm-hmm.
how You understand? And that is why I
Mm.
feel like it is important to take your time to know somebody.
Mighty God, yes.
Don't look and say, oh, the church rule or how it normally
Mm-hmm.
designed in the church is really, we
Yeah.
start court and then, we get married in 6 months.
Mm.
You understand the quick fix or the quick jumping type thing?
Yeah.
You have to take your time to know if it's somebody that you're interested in. They have
Mm-hmm.
certain qualities that you look forward
Yeah.
for. um, Take your time to know that person because
Mm-hmm.
as I said, sometimes you might be aware of some things
Yeah.
gradually in the relationship. So let's say you ask a
Mm-hmm.
person, how do you deal with conflict resolution? Right? And when you're in the thing, he's bickering and he's
Mm.
the one huffing and puffing, and you're trying to
Yeah.
say, let us talk about this. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
talk about this. You understand?
Yeah.
Then now you look and say, okay, wow, like he's not really big on that as he
As
said.
he
But before
said.
he said
Mm-hmm.
yes, I am
Mm-hmm.
big on that because some people are yes men. We think,
Mm.
yeah man, everything is yes.
Yeah.
So now is taking your time and having a mental note of these things
Yeah.
and what you are looking for, what you think is most
Mm-hmm.
important to your growth and the
Yeah.
growth of the relationship to come, the marriage to come.
Yeah.
And take your time, sneak it in and watch,
Mm-hmm.
analyze and look at the whole thing without, as we say, seeming all, what's the
Mm-hmm.
words that you use? Hyper
Scary or
about it,
hyper
or
holy.
yeah, a
Mm-hmm.
person might look at you and say, why are you acting this way?
Yeah.
You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
that is my 2 cents where that is concerned. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so
Awesome.
I think I have like two. You said, how do I feel about kids?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the one that I think you mentioned it about lifestyle. I think you had
Yeah,
mentioned.
the health lifestyle. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So the flip side of that is that
Mm-hmm.
what kind of lifestyle does this person decides to live?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean is that, and I think you had mentioned, well, I don't think it's connected because you mentioned about how do you um, deal with achievements,
Yeah, the wins and the
the
successes.
wins and the
Mm-hmm.
successes. But in this area, it is what kind of lifestyle does this person decide to live?
Yeah.
You might have somebody, or you might meet somebody
Yeah.
that they like to spend,
Mm.
right? They
Yeah.
like to um, buy stuff. They like to, flashy pretty much lifestyle, but you're not that type of
High
person.
high maintenance.
High,
Yeah, maintenance.
beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
You are just not that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have some people that they try to fit in that type of group,
Yeah.
right? Hoping to gain that person's love or,
Yeah.
um, acceptance, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, okay, I think I can fit in, man. But at the end of the day, problems. Because one of the things is that, let's say you're the type of person that wants to live in the country,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I am the type of person that wants to live in the city.
Mm.
I want to live in Kingston. I want to live in New York, or you just want to live in the south or whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
right? You know that that is going to be a conflict.
Mm-hmm. They didn't tell me that you wanted this lifestyle
You understand?
before.
And then you
Mm-hmm.
have some people that sells these persons might sell you a false promise.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes.
You get what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
might sell you a false promise.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful in terms of um, the whole aspect of, as I said, the lifestyle of a person. If this person is living a lifestyle that you don't feel like you can fit in,
Yeah.
don't try fitting it.
Mm-hmm. Not at the sake of the ring. It's not worth it.
You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it goes for the men also because, as you said, you have women that they love to this and they love to
Mm.
that, and she look nice and whatever. But you want to hold on to this lady because you might not get another one like her.
Yeah. Yep.
But your finances going drain.
Mm-hmm.
You can't save a dollar because you are here for do
Mm.
regularly. Not saying, not
Not
saying,
saying that you must
yeah,
be here.
more than
Yes.
more than more than the norm.
Or more than what they can uphold.
Yeah. You understand? Your
Yes.
little paycheck where you get
Mm-hmm.
can't sustain that.
Yes, yes. Just be open and upfront and say, boy, sis, this is not going to work
Don't
from
fight
my
it.
end.
Yeah, don't fight it. If it
Yeah,
can, if this person, if you realize this person is just this way,
yeah,
leave that person
yeah.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the other one is you touch on kids. All right. So the other one is, what do you consider as
Oh,
Infidelity.
yes, that's a good one.
Oh yes, very enlightening. Thanks very much for joining.
Yeah, that's a great one.
How do you or what do you consider as infidelity, cheating,
Yes.
inappropriate
Mm-hmm.
behavior?
Yes.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know that cheating is wrong. Putting
Mm-hmm.
their hats always where they can't reach it.
Yes,
So true.
Samantha.
All right, we know that cheating is wrong. We don't
Mm-hmm.
condone cheating. You
Yeah.
understand? Both ends. We
Mm-hmm.
don't condone that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at the end of the day, we all know that it is broad.
Yeah.
It is broad. As
Mm-hmm.
we said, it could be inappropriate behavior, whatever
Flirting,
you understand.
emotional ties. Mm-hmm.
It is broad
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, what a man might consider cheating is kissing
Mm.
or um, physical, which we call the
Yeah.
intimacy, the sexual aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But for you, cheating could look like, or inappropriate could look like, the person watching porn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? The person watching porn. That you could
Mm-hmm.
look at, oh, that's him. But for him, he doesn't look at it that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
He doesn't look at it that way. So ask that person that you're dating, what does inappropriate behavior look like for you, or slash cheating, or slash
Mm-hmm.
infidelity?
Yeah.
You understand? What does that look like for you?
Yeah.
All right. So I want to just to add a few, um,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of persons don't know. As I said, persons might look at infidelity as physical, only physical. You talk
Yeah.
about, oh, that person, you did that with that person, so it's infidelity. No.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference, just as a little, how I want to put it, just some tips or just some
Are
analogy.
different
Yeah, yeah,
categories.
different
Mm-hmm.
of emotional infidelity. So we're
Mm.
looking at emotional infidelity, and it's defined by sharing a level of intimacy with a person other than your spouse. So
Yeah.
that is emotional infidelity,
Mm.
right? So single people looking on, or married couples,
Mm-hmm.
emotional infidelity, it's defined by sharing a level of intimacy with a person other than your spouse. So it
Yeah.
can be a friend, or it
Mm-hmm.
can be a coworker. Sharing,
Yeah.
deep thoughts or deep feelings or whatever it is, things that happen at your house with you and
Mm.
your partner. You understand?
And then I
You,
get along.
yeah, you start to confide in this person, and that is
Yeah.
one of the steps where it gets to physical. It can get to
Yeah. Yeah.
physical.
It starts to. Mm-hmm.
It can, because you have now gotten so close to this person that you begin to share some deep things that you have never shared with anybody else.
Not even with their partner.
Not even with your with your
Yes.
with your
Mm-hmm.
with your partner,
Yep.
right?
So common. So common too.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And then some might look at it and say, oh, but he's my friend. But
Mm.
it does happen. If you
Yeah.
find yourself secretly, going off and sharing stuff,
Yeah.
and giving information other than your spouse to somebody that, whether it's a friend, as I said, as a coworker, anybody that you find yourself giving these information to,
Yeah.
there's
Mm.
an emotional bond going on, which is
Or
considered emotional infidelity.
or like you find safety in the in
Find,
the
yeah.
in the in confiding with this person, and sometimes you can't go a day without talking to them. Whether or not your spouse call you, it don't even matter. Whether or not your other half
Hmm.
call you,
Hmm.
it don't even matter. As long as you're talking to that person, you feel secure and complete for the day. So
Beautiful. So we know about physical infidelity, you
mm-hmm.
know, connecting sexually outside of your relationship. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So we have digital infidelity,
Mm.
right? And that is sexting. So that is, yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
online.
Mm-hmm.
Texting somebody online, the opposite sex online. You know, talking about grown people stuff.
Yeah.
Sharing pictures and all the above. So that is
Oh.
digital infidelity.
Okay.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand? All right. So the other one is financial infidelity. I
Yeah.
think we touched on that in a few lives in the
Yeah.
past.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So financial infidelity. This is uh this cheating occurs when a partner doesn't come clean about their spending or
Mm.
saving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were discussing that also
Mm-hmm.
um on one of these lives. Just the other day, we were talking about having secret accounts and
Mm-hmm.
you know
Marriage and money. That's the
marriage.
name of the
Yeah,
video.
yeah,
Marriage and money.
marriage and money, right? So yeah, so financial infidelity. This is cheating occurs when a partner doesn't come clean about their spending
Yep.
or saving. So if you're hiding accounts
Mm-hmm.
and putting money in
Mm-hmm.
without your partner knowing about it, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
you understand? If you're hide,
Absolutely.
your partner doesn't know about it,
Mm-hmm.
financial infidelity, guys. It
Yes.
sounds some type of way, but it is what it is. You
Uh-huh.
understand?
Yep.
So there's a few more, but those are really the amount that the few that I decided to use.
Okay. And those are some great points, especially asking the person what is infidelity to them, because that's one of the questions that, we may brush off to say men have a whole idea of what
Mm-hmm.
infidelity is, and a woman may have her own boundaries to say no. If once you look at the person and you start make
Mm-hmm.
advances, you're starting to go down the road of being
Flirting,
unfaithful, flirting.
flirting, yeah.
Yes, so that is absolutely a great point. Thanks for sharing those. We're going to close off now with some tips. So before you even start to ask these questions, ensure that they resonate with you first. Ensure that you know what they mean, and ensure that you're asking yourself these questions first. Be sure of these things first. If you're not sure, then you won't ask. And if you don't ask, then you're going to get what you didn't
Mm-hmm.
bargain for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times. And the next one is when you are asking, be confident. Be confident because you know the power of questioning. You know the power of asking these questions. You know it doesn't guarantee a perfect marriage, but you also are aware that the self awareness, your own boundaries, the person's current status,
Mm.
and the person's current season is not where you want to be.
You're
Thank
welcome. You're
you,
welcome,
Nicola.
Nicola. You're welcome.
It's not where you want to be right now. So maybe they're not a bad person to marry,
Yeah.
but they're not a good person for you. And the season that they're in will not carry you right now.
Yes.
You're 5 years ahead of them, and they're just in the settling down phase of their life. It's not ideal to merge with that person, especially right now. Can you wait for them? That's up to you. But you must know what season and act appropriately. Many times, some men they want wife, no, them need a therapist. Some women, them want husband, no, them need to make up with them father who they did not have a good relationship with. Why? Because these attachment breaking away, these soul wounds are what's crying out, and it's mimicking, I need a husband
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I need a wife. So know the seasons, understand the seasons, and understand what each season need. What the seasons need, because it's not all seasons can be solved with getting a ring.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is if you are brushed off when you approach having these conversations, because I know some people who would say, I can't even ask him about what does he make in terms of his pay. Can his pay suffice? And he wants to get married. How you want to marry somebody and she don't know what you're getting? How you want to marry a female you don't know, she's not sharing with you her finances? How is that going to work? So if you're brushed off openly, this can be very important. So true, Katie. And hey, thanks for joining us. So these conversations, excuse me, they need to be open. And if you
Mm-hmm.
are brushed off, like we said, suggest help. Don't just leave the person high and dry and say, you know what, then later for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to suggest help. So how can I help you? How can I put some things in place? Offer some solutions. And if they're still consistently not in that healthy space to move on, then you know you're not the right help me to carry this person. You didn't sign up to be nobody's therapist. You
Yes.
did not sign up in a marriage to be no psychotherapist, and you're not psychoanalyzing anybody. Your duty is along the way, if you're in a marriage and this comes up, then it's your appointment and your duty. But before, you may need to take a step back and say, you know what? When you have worked out yourself, if it's the Lord's will, we'll come right back around to each other. The next one is, it is your responsibility to ask.
Yeah.
Ask and do your homework. If you think the person is being shady, if you think the person is not telling the truth, they have family members. I used to question his best friend so much until he would say, "Stop asking my friend them question. Stop asking my friends." And the friends never hid anything. The friends told me everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
The friends told it all.
Told too
So,
much.
is it told too much?
Yeah.
So I used to ask his parents, I used to ask his sisters, who and him in the family don't talk right now? Who is in malice? Who is he in malice with? Who is he disrespectful to? How does he treat the little ones? I used to ask because I was terribly afraid of marriage.
Yeah.
Terribly afraid.
And there's also the saying that, to know a good man, look at how he treats the women in
In
his
his,
life. Yeah.
yeah. So it's your responsibility. The love alone not going to cut it. We want this life, I promise you, we all want to be married. And when somebody who is married say and give a little suggestion, you'd say, oh, it's because you already married. We all want love. That's absolutely fine. But as I say, it's not a perfect couple or couples goals thing. It's looking at where we have fallen short and say, hey, I'm going to use their marriage as an example to overcome this. I don't have to experience every mistake. Oh, let me learn for myself. You don't have to.
Mm.
You really don't. So go through the process of doing your homework so you can have an idea what you're up against. Because the battles that you're fighting before the marriage, they will be a cue that what you're going into the marriage with on the outside is what you're going to fight on the inside. And let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you a secret, that giant is now going to be way bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Way bigger.
Yes.
And the last one is, do not compromise. If you have your standards, if you have your boundaries, your morals, your values, and you want to get married and the person is consistently nitpicking at your boundaries, it's not worth it. Don't even try to lower anything to say, you know what, because I want this little thing on my finger and I want to prove to people that I am also choosable and lovable. You're going to take it, or to yourself, oh, this is now my time to be selected. It's not worth it. Not worth
Yes,
it.
that is so true, because how I look at it is that if you set boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
and this person that you think, okay, he would understand my boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
respect my boundaries, and he, as you said, he's nitpicking at
Mm-hmm.
these boundaries that you have set
Mm-hmm.
up in marriage. Let's say this is the person that you end up marrying
Yeah.
in marriage, if you decide to, or you guys decide to set up a certain, let us say you decide to
Yeah.
set up a boundary, it is that easy for him to break that boundary.
Mm-hmm. The marital boundaries will not be respected either.
So if he
It is
if he's
true.
not able to respect these boundaries, to say, okay, she does not like this, she does not want me to do this,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
when you go in, it is the same
Mm-hmm.
energy you're going to get when it comes to the marital boundaries.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
No respect.
Because they're sensitized to skipping stages. They're
Yes.
already used to it. So those are the points that, excuse me, that we have for tonight. For tonight, we are so happy that you've done the journey with us. So thank you so much for holding out. We have so much more, but then we're going to close at this point. Thank you so much for those who've been asking questions. Also, I want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that for next week, starting on Sunday, we have the 7 days of fasting with um, the prophetic team who will be ministering to us every single night
Yes. Yes.
for
Yes.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're culminating on Saturday with the testimonies, the reports. We're getting the emails, we're getting the questions, the prayer requests. If you have somebody sick, if you're having financial issues, if you're having marital issues, we're going to be sending the link, the form where you can put your prayer request and your information in. So
Yes.
that's 7 days of prayer and fasting for marriages, singles, and for the family. There's some crazy things happening in our world today. And we're not just here to be on YouTube. Again, I say this every week, looking cute. We are here to serve the kingdom and the kingdom only. The Lord already draw we up. Say if it's not about leading the people back to him jump ship off this long time.
Yes.
So we're not here to big up no self. We're here to serve the kingdom. And it is fasting next week. As he leads, we go. So we're fasting for the week, and I implore you, when the flyer hits social media, please go ahead and put your request in, and we will be taking it to the throne. We're gathering on YouTube every single night for that 1 week, um, with one of our guests each night to share and to empower and to inspire and to preach the word of the Lord
And to
and
prophesy.
to prophesy.
Prophesy.
Yes, we're gonna
Yes.
prophesy. So see you next week. We'll not have a meeting on Monday. We're not having rekindle on Monday, and we're not having teaching on Thursday. So we're going that one full week into the prophetic. So thank you guys for watching with us. We're going to go. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.